Strap yourself in for Keeping It Real with Jack and Raoul.
Welcome back, Keepers, to another episode of Keeping It Real with Jack and Raoul. I am, as usual, Gabrielle Dolan.
And I am not, as usual, Jack Phillips. I nearly said Jack Raoul.
You nearly – oh, my God, you
And
forgot
this
your
is
surname.
Keeping It Real with Jack and Raoul.
Yeah, well done. Good on you. Good on you. See, Keepers, she's getting slightly better at it, isn't
Okay.
she?
Raoul, I have a question for you.
Ask away, my friend.
There are many different expectations for leaders, yet there's really only one, I think, great secret to being a very successful leader. Do you know what that secret is?
I've got a hint from the title of the episode, but I think it's all about attracting and retaining very good talent.
Hiring and developing talent, which is exactly what you're saying, attracting and retaining talent.
I was going to say developing actually because, you know, you may necessarily want to not retain them forever.
No. And you do have an expectation as a leader.
Absolutely.
So do you think that attracting and retaining or hiring and developing talent as a leader is simple?
No, I don't think it is at all. And I
One
think
of the toughest things.
especially developing talent.
That is the hardest part.
Yeah,
It really
the hardest
is.
part.
So your ability as a leader or as a successful leader to hire, develop and retain great talent means that you multiply impact, you accelerate performance and you build a team that outperforms.
Yeah.
So it's the force multiplier effect. Yet so many leaders, and I coach so many leaders, are so busy doing the work, caught up in the work, that they actually forget about the importance of hiring well, but especially continual development of talent.
Yeah.
So there's a core formula.
Okay. I was going to say, you know, what you said, I think every leader would want that. Every leader would want, yes, I would want my team to outperform and be high achieving, but the way they're leading is actually stopping them from doing that.
And this applies to whether you've got one person that reports to you or whether you've got 50 or 500.
Yep.
The other thing is if you are a keeper listening to this and saying, well, I don't have a direct report, I guarantee you are still working with agencies or suppliers or having to collaborate with other people. And whilst you may not hire them, you can play a role in developing them.
Yes.
Everyone can. So I've written down a few things. This is one of my sort of key areas that I love talking and coaching on, which is attracting and retaining talent. There's a core formula, and I've seen it work time and time again, and I have actually used this formula as a leader. So there are 4 key things. Let's talk about them, and I want you to give me some feedback and thoughts and maybe some of your stories, how this has impacted you or where you've seen this go well or not.
Okay.
So the first thing is obviously hiring someone, but hiring for more than just skill. I'll say that again, hiring for more than just skill. This is number 1 in the formula.
Yep. Are we going to discuss each one?
We are.
Right.
So I'll just do a quick little blurb and then I want you to talk to me about this.
Yep.
So technical expertise matters, clearly. You are hiring somebody to do a job. They are going to need to be able to demonstrate that they have the technical expertise in some way, shape or form, right? But it's really the differentiator, particularly over time. So what you should do when you are hiring for more than just skill is look for a growth mindset. I know you're going to tell us about this in a minute. Are they curious, adaptable, and open to feedback? Number 2, as part of hiring for more than just skill, values alignment. Will they lift the culture or challenge you or the culture in a healthy way? Because that should evolve all the time.
Yep.
And number 3, energy and ownership. When you are hiring and hiring for more than just skill, are you looking at energy and ownership? Will they go beyond just the job description? So hiring for more than just skill, hiring for beyond just technical expertise. Talk to me about where you've seen that done well or not.
Well, I think the most recent, the only person I've hired in the last 10 years was
She's a rock star.
was Elise, my executive manager, who, you know, when I hired her, she was a teacher. She was a primary school teacher. She was my kid's primary school teacher. And everything you spoke about then, it just seemed to tick every button in that she was a primary school teacher. So she did not have the technical skills I was looking for, as in, you know, operating, you know, the systems I had.
Yes.
But, you know, I knew she was technical. Like it wasn't like
stupid.
She could
learn
do
that.
stuff. But what I saw, it was all transferable skills. So very few of the skills were the technical, literal skills, but they were transferable skills. And the other thing you spoke about, the energy and going beyond, I saw her do that as a teacher, and I thought, I need someone in my business that's
like
gonna,
that. But growth mindset, was she curious, adaptable and open to feedback?
Yeah, exactly. And
saw
it was
that.
one of the things too was like, she would send me stuff on leadership, and I could tell she was interested in leadership. And, she had a leadership role as a teacher as well.
Yes, indeed.
So, and she will often sort of say that I took a risk on her because I saw transferable skills. Now, some people, and so maybe this is the difference. I actually never saw it as a risk at all, because I could clearly see the transferable skills.
But you had confidence in your own leadership. And we'll get to that in a moment around the development, right? What she didn't know, you knew you could teach her.
Yes.
Or you felt you could teach her, and she would have an open growth mindset to take on those.
But I was wondering
teachings.
if people don't attract on that because they see it as a risk. So they would actually go, there could be risky because she's never done this job before.
Oh, guarantee
She's never
it.
worked in this industry
Guarantee
before.
it.
She's never worked with corporates before.
Guarantee
and
it.
they would see it as a risk.
Yes,
where
possibly.
I would go,
an
I did not
opportunity.
see it as a risk.
No.
One little bit of that as a risk.
No, that's really fascinating, and she's delivered for you for 10 years, and
Yeah.
she's been awesome. So hiring for more than just skill. Yes, technical expertise matters, but really it's the differentiator over time. That's where you need to look for the growth mindset, the values alignment, and the energy and ownership. And a great example there with Elise. Coaching with clarity and care is the second part of this formula. Okay, so you've hired.
Yep.
Now we need to coach. And this is the area, and so is number 3, which I'll talk to you about in a moment, that I think leaders fall down on, not because they don't want to coach, but because either they don't know how to, or they say, well, that comes at the end of when I'm finished my work for the day or the week or the month or the year.
I was going to say not knowing how to is a big one, but also not having the
Not
time.
prioritising it.
Not having the time, not prioritising it.
So developing people is where the magic happens, keepers, right? If you hire somebody and you've hired them and you know they're going to be great, set clear expectations. No mystery, yeah? Make it really clear. Success looks like this in this business. Success for you in your role looks like this to me. Do you align? Here's the bit that never happens enough in my view as a coach, and I coach great leaders and I coach not so great leaders. Regular feedback.
Right, okay.
Giving regular feedback, both to the person that you've hired and that you're coaching, but also asking them for feedback on you, the good, the hard, and the specific. So feedback, Raal, it's a gift. I would encourage all of my coaching clients to seek feedback daily. Now, I know that sounds like overkill, and I'm not talking about a poll or a survey. I'm talking about, hey, I'd love some feedback on that presentation I just gave now.
Yep.
What do you think I could have done better? Hey, I'm just about to have a hard discussion with somebody I trust you to share that information with. Could you give me some feedback on where you've seen me do this not so well or well in the past, or any tips or advice for me?
We covered that question in a previous episode about asking where have you seen me at my best and where have you seen me at my worst is a good question.
Great question.
But even giving other people's feedback. So I think it comes down to, I think every leader would be going, yeah, that's what I want, but they're not prioritising coaching because there's still a lot of people out there that go, well, it'd just be easier if I did it myself.
Absolutely. Or, oh, I'm sure they know what I want. Oh, I'm sure they know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yet most people don't communicate well.
Testing of the fire warning system is about to
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real.
fire warning system is about to commence.
I'll have to
So
wait.
just to explain this, keepers, we are in my house,
Keeping it real.
but we are in a sort of, there's a group and there's a lift, and they often do this little fire testing every now and again.
So are we going to stop while they do the fire
No,
testing?
why don't we just keep
push
talking
on.
and keeping
So
it real?
coaching with clarity and care.
Keeping it real is such a catch cry for, oh, we can't,
Can't
be
be
bothered
bothered
doing it
stopping.
again.
Developing people is where the magic happens. Coaching with clarity and care. So set clear expectations with who you hire. No mystery. Regular feedback, the good, the hard, and the specific. Encourage creativity, Raal, yeah? People thrive when they're actually encouraged to feel safe to think differently. So, some of the best marketing campaigns I've been a part of has been because of the team I have worked with, both on the agency side as well as my team, have known that there's no bad idea, that I want them to think so creatively and be safe in that thinking. They would never be knocked for that. Yeah. Same with problem solving.
That takes real consistency, like you would have had as a leader, because all it takes is one time to go, well, it's a bloody stupid idea.
And
it can just destroy. It can be enough
safety.
for people to second guess themselves.
Say that. It's an awful thing to say, Who's got the monopoly on great ideas? And often an idea is where you start and then it can evolve, particularly with a team, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And finally, as part of coaching with clarity and care, is ask, don't just tell, yeah? So great coaching and great leaders ask great questions, every single day. So, Ral, tell me, what was that like for you? Hey, Ral, I'd love some of your feedback on when the team delivered this, where you thought we could have done it better. This is coaching your teams and your individuals by asking them questions.
Yeah.
And again, if it's not a priority, it won't happen.
I don't know if this is related, but it's around the coaching with clarity and care and maybe asking questions. I know, with Elise, it was just me and Elise, so there was just the two of us. And look, yes, we did work, we had an IT person, we had a website developer person, we had a editor. We sort of had subcontractors, I guess, but it was just the two of us. And so what I did with developing, delegate for developing. Even when I worked in corporate, my motto was delegate to develop. But we would often, say for example, I remember one time we sort of really wanted to up the ante on our social media campaign. This was probably 8 years ago. So doing a lot of social media advertising and stuff like that. And so I asked Elise, I go, is this something of interest to you? Because if it is interest to you, I will pay for you to go on a course and learn this. If it's no interest, that's fine. We will outsource it to another subcontractor. But it was always having the conversation, is this something that you want to take on? And if you want to take it on, and if there's a genuine interest there, then I will put the time and money, a lot of it, not always, but sometimes it was investment in courses to do that. And, collectively.
And I take it she said yes because she has a growth mindset. Yeah. So again, you've hired well and then you've offered this. So you've actually spoke about the third part of the formula,
right? Okay.
Which is investing in their development.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So top talent wants to grow, and if you don't invest in them, someone else will. Yes. In other words, they will leave. Yeah. And when I think about certainly Gen Y and Gen Z, millennials and our kids, they want to be stretched. They want opportunities. They want feedback. They want to be invested in. So create those opportunities.
It reminds me, that old saying that they used to, what if we develop our people and they leave? And you go, what if you don't develop them and they stay?
Yeah.
It's like
so good, eh?
That's the worst.
So good.
Don't invest in their development and stay.
That's right.
Much more dangerous than
much worse.
Invest in them and then they leave.
And
that's
they
fine.
leave. That's exactly right. So create stretch opportunities, support learning both formally and informally. So gosh, you can learn a lot on the job. Yeah, some of the best education I've had, some of the best MBA teachings have been a leader that has absolutely coached me, developed me, stretched me, or I've watched what they've done and how they've gone about it. Encourage cross-functional experiences. Yeah, so I think the corporates were often good at this. Yep. So you can go into another area and do a couple of days a week. You can shadow somebody if that's an area that you're interested in.
Yeah. When I worked at National Australia Bank in IT, and it was we were on a 5-week rotating shift. Brilliant. And 1 week of those 5 weeks was in another area.
Brilliant.
So it was still in IT, but it was learning
everything,
the different aspects of the sort of the whole end-to-end game.
Well, you think of graduate programs. I mean, the whole point of a graduate program is that you actually move around and get access to a whole lot of different functions, and then think about, well, where am I best suited with my skills, or where's my interest most, or who's the leader that I actually was exposed to around there that I think will absolutely grow me.
And I look back on my time in corporate, and some of the best leaders I had were the ones that there could be like a 3-month relief in another area, and they would actually put your name up for it. So it's not as if they're just agreeing that you go, they're actually putting your name forward. And so that is total development with care.
Absolutely, and interest. And that is a beautiful segue into the final part of investing in development. Back their ambition, not your agenda.
Oh, nice.
So again, if you are coaching and you are asking questions as a leader of your talent that you've hired, and you know that their interest is beyond just this area or the thing that they are technically good at, then help invest in them in that area, because you will reap the rewards. They will bring that to your business. So we've spoken about hiring for more than just skill. We've spoken about coaching that talent with clarity and care. We've just discussed investing in their development. The fourth part of the framework, this is the final part or the formula, I should say, for attracting and retaining talent as a great leader is retaining them. So keeping them. You've done all this investment. Now you're not going to keep somebody forever, and you don't want to, and you shouldn't be there forever either. Retain through trust and challenge. So retention isn't about remote haven't had a drink. Retention isn't about remote working or a spa voucher on birthdays. It's much more than that, as we know. It's about trust. Do they feel seen, safe, supported?
Yeah.
It's about challenge. Are they being stretched, both in what we were talking about with investment in their development? And it's about progression. Can they see a future here? Have you been in a role, and I know you have, so it's a rhetorical question, where you've thought, this is really limited, or my time here is really limited because I'm just not going to be able to go anywhere beyond this role? A, I'm not seeing any leaders in here that I want to report to, or B, this industry or this area just doesn't have the growth I need.
Yeah, definitely. And we've actually covered that in previous episodes, like when's it time to leave my job or whatever. And then normally it's those things are not being addressed. So you're not feeling trusted, seen or heard. No. You're not being challenged, which means you're not growing, and you're not seeing any progression. And that all these things are a bloody lot harder than what they said.
Easier said than done, which is why I said at the start, hiring and retaining great talent, simple? Yeah.
I remember
Really tough.
I remember once you said to me, and it was in regards to Elise, and it was when she'd probably been with me for about 6 years, because really there isn't much progression, as in it's no hierarchy, there's two of us. So there's no progression. But what I knew I did very well with her was trust and challenge. And I remember once you said to me, you said, gee, you've done well to keep her for so long, because she's bloody smart and she could go work anywhere.
She's great part of your brand.
And I think it comes down to it was total trust and development and challenge. So
and that willingness to learn.
Yeah.
That willingness to say, let me go and do the course.
Yeah.
And I'll deliver for you. No, it's exactly right. So great leaders realise their primary focus is all of the above, that formula that we spoke about, and I'll just wrap it up in a moment, and it should come before the work, The real job of a leader is hiring great talent and then coaching, developing, stretching and retaining that talent. That is the job.
Yeah.
And most leaders...
And get out of their way and let them do it once you've done all that.
Let them do it. That is a very good point. But most leaders will tell you, I know that's the job, but I've just got to get the work done. I've just got to get this report done. I've just got... And if that's what you're saying and doing, and this is an opportunity to keep us really think about what we're saying, then your success as a leader is really limited, because you're only as good as the people you hire.
Yeah. And you would see this a lot. A lot of leaders think they're developing all their people because they do their quarterly 1 hour performance review. Should be a daily thing.
It should be a daily thing. Feedback, and they should also, as leaders, be seeking feedback. So the
Okay.
formula that we have seen time and time again, I'll just quickly say it. 4 things: hire for more than just skill, coach with clarity and care, invest in development, and retain through trust and challenge. That is the job of great leaders.
Yeah. Good job, Jack. That was an excellent insight to your thinking.
Lovely feedback.
Now, remember, keepers, if you want to be the bestest keepers, you can flick over to Patreon and subscribe for a very minimal monthly investment. You get early access to podcasts, you get additional bonus episodes, you get masterclasses, you get the book club, and you get early access to live events. So come join us there if you want to support us in helping us do what we love doing. And
Which is keeping it real.
Hope you love hearing from us. Until next time, we'll speak to you then.
Bye.
You've been listening to another episode of Keeping It Real with Jack and Rahl. If you like what you've heard, don't forget to tell others about it and give a 5-star review. They may seem confident, but they really are sensitive 5-star needy souls. Yeah, right. Keeping It Real, created by Jack Phillips and Gabriel Dolan. Produced by Keehlan Ferrari-Brown. And this really real voiceover, spoken by Richard Phillips.